Good afternoon. My name is Luke Middlebrook. I am your son or daughter's world history teacher. I thought it'd be appropriate that if you're watching this from home and all of your son or daughters are stuck at home, that I would do this from my home as well. So, from my home to yours. As a world history teacher, I think I maybe take a different approach than others about what the way to engage in the content and how to transgress through the content is. So, to start off with the name of our course. The name of our course is World History: An Analysis of the Self Through a Study of the Past. I think that what we should be teaching world history for is to understand ourselves as individuals on a deeper level. That it's not enough to know what happened in World War I, in World War II, in the French and Indian War, to know what happened in the Glorious Revolution, to know what happened in ancient civilization, to know the Agricultural Revolution. It's not enough to know just what happened. You have to know why it happened. You have to know how it happened. And I think that knowing the why, the what, the where, the when will provide a deeper sense of perception in humanity and individualism. So with that, that's the name of our course. My goal is to help your son or daughter understand who they are as an individual on a deeper level through studying ancient history of the ancient humans, through studying ancient cultures and ancient civilizations that have led to the development of our current civilization. So, why do we study history? It's a question that is often asked on the first or second day of a history course. And I think the answer that is most common is so we don't repeat the past. Yes, I would say that's a great answer if it was that easy, which it never is. Okay, what led to the Gulag system where tens of millions of Russians died? What caused the Great Leap Forward in China where tens of millions of people died? What happened in World War I where you have tens of millions of people died? In World War II where tens of millions of people died? Why is it that it's so easy to repeat what has happened in the past? Because when you just know what happened, you don't know why it happened. So I think if we're really going to avoid repeating the negative aspects of history, it is important that we understand why the negative aspects of history have manifested. And that's why I think it's important we incorporate not just history into our course, we incorporate psychology, sociology, political science, biology, chemistry, and we get a full, well-rounded aspect of social science as well as the hard sciences engaging in one course to facilitate a broader understanding of what and why and how events have transpired in the past to give us the current present. I heard a quote that has changed the way that I looked at history, which was history is a bloodbath. And the first time I heard it, I was kind of like, God, who talks like that? And the more that I got to know the author and the lecturer who said that, the more I realized that it was very accurate. Um, the way your son or daughter's course is broken down essentially plays out like this. We look at the development of Western thought with Christianity, ancient Greece, and ancient Rome. We then fast forward into the Inquisition, the Enlightenment, colonization, Christopher Columbus, Protestant Reformation. We kind of move forward to the 15, 16, 17, 1800s in Europe. Well, then after that, we look at the scientific revolution. We look at the Enlightenment period. We look at colonization and imperialism. And then we spend the rest of the course after that looking at World War I, how World War I influenced World War II, how World War II influenced the Cold War, and how the Cold War gave us what we have today. So 50%, if not more, of the course is spent from 1900 on. So I'd like to think that I'm going to be pretty efficient, even if we're online, at going over what happened post World War I or pre and post World War I and development of the 20th century. I spent most of my historical career studying that period alone, and I think that I can go efficiently in depth to provide your student a full, well-rounded picture of what happened in the 20th century. Prior to that, I've been trying to teach your students about the development of socialization, society, culture, and where that comes from. The main thing that I think your student can walk away from my class is understanding that there's always a positive and always a negative to everything. It seems like everything I've studied, there's always a positive and negative aspect to that. And it's understanding that things are never, unfortunately, black and white, that they're never right and wrong in a very clear sense. There's always the gray aspect that creates the sense of individualism and the sense of abstraction that I think provides humanity the reason for our ability to think. If things were just right and wrong, we wouldn't need the ability to think, we'd just choose right. So I think the gray aspect has resulted in us gaining intelligence and the ability to think. So with your son or daughter, I tell them this. I want them to agree with me. I want them to disagree with me. I do not care if they think like me. I want them to think better than me. I don't want them to see the world like I do. I want them to see the world better than I do when they get to my age. So with that, if your son or daughter agrees with me and we have the same worldview and we're having a discussion, I'm going to challenge their point of view, even though I know that I agree with them, not because I want them to reinforce their beliefs, but I want to challenge their beliefs, whether they agree with me or disagree with me, so they become stronger at thinking and processing and having a wider perception, because that's how you make people stronger, with challenge, with supportive, engaging critique. Um, so that's the way I'm going to go about this. I think another thing I find important when it comes to world history is understanding that we are endowed with history of the past of all cultures, that ancient cultures belong to us as humans, that ancient triumphs of humanity belong to all humans today. And this is why I pull from stories, ancient stories from many different cultures. Story from the Buddhist religions, from the Hindu religions, from the Christian religions, from the Jewish religions. I speak of Adam and Eve, the flood, Marduk, Tiamat, Kingzu, Kali, Osiris, Horus, Seth. Mythology, I think, grants us a look at the first origination of systems and societies. And I think by understanding the origination of society, I think we will have a better understanding of what we have today. So my goal is to make your son or daughter a better social scientist, to make them a better citizen, to make them a better person by exposing them to what humanity really is, the positive side of humanity and the negative side of humanity. So I look forward to one day meeting you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is at the top of this syllabus. You can contact me there. So far, I've had great engagement, and I really enjoy your son or daughter being in my class. We've had some really great discussions, and don't tell anybody this, but it's like every kid is extremely well behaved. Everybody's super respectful. I mean, they write me emails and they're like, "Good afternoon, Mr. Middlebrook. I hope you're having a pleasant day. I would like to ask you a question, if you were so bold, of please, can you elaborate this?" I'm like, who are these people? Like, nobody writes emails like that at 14. So I'm very thankful to have your son or daughter in my class. It's been a pleasure so far, and I'm really excited to have them in class in person and to be able to take the education to the next level once we're all together. So thank you for sending the LCAP. Thank you for letting me have them in class, and I look forward to talking with you and speaking with you. Have a wonderful day.